So for those of you that are still working, welcome to the Sicon Christmas message. So we've done it once, I guess it's going to become an annual thing, so we're here in our Christmas jumpers and headwear.
Bought one this year. So
better than that t-shirt that 2 sizes too small last year, Steve, wasn't it?
probably still 2 sizes too small. But I suppose, yeah, just in the same theme as last year, Richard. It's what a year. I literally cannot believe it's December.
It's been interesting. Who could have ever predicted something like COVID?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you had January, February, March was an absolute breeze.
It was. I was on holiday.
Yep, perfect. And how many holidays have you had since?
None.
And that, I reckon, must be a record.
Yeah.
It's probably the first time, well, this decade or this century. But you haven't been off for 6 months.
Yeah.
No, but it's good though when we get later on. That is saving the planet because your carbon footprint has gone.
Yeah. It's positives.
But yeah, so we got into March. But I mean, at the start of the year, there were some changes, and then obviously with COVID. But I don't know. For me, I guess the first point is for us. It felt slightly different, didn't it? We didn't approach it quite the same.
I think yeah. Once that it became aware of what was going on, everyone was going into, I wouldn't say panic, but it was, it was battening down the hatches, making sure everyone was going to survive. And I looked at that and I thought, you know what, we never get a chance to catch up on projects. There's always stuff we want to get done. I think that we'll do better in the long run with that. So that's what we did. That's where we started.
Cool. And how long was it quiet for?
About 2 weeks. So, everybody else, you probably realised that not everyone was in that same furlough situation. There's a lot of businesses and sectors out there that were still busy. And gradually you guys were coming back going, can you help with demo? Can you do a project? And before we know it, we are absolutely back up to full speed.
Yeah, and I think through the summer it's just been epic. It is hard because there are people out there who, certain sectors are struggling with job losses and such. So I do feel a bit bad sometimes talking, but we literally haven't stopped.
No. So I mean, we have to share the good, positive stories. So there's a lot of customers out there who are doing well.
Yeah.
Some of them up to 200% on their normal turnover, which is astonishing.
Yeah,
so,
and our success is, obviously your success as well. So thank you very much. We do appreciate it as always. I guess lockdown was an interesting one, especially for us, where I know we've had some remote workers, but traditionally it's an office-based organisation, isn't it?
And we're all local, aren't we? So we try and recruit locally. So yeah, I think some people struggled a bit with the kind of mental side of working at home. It was difficult. Some just with the loneliness. Some people dealt with that in different ways. Some people ate a lot.
No. I actually lost weight. During the summer.
And then put it back on again.
Yeah, we're not talking about the now, we're talking about the then now. I got married, that's what marriage means.
Well, yeah, you had a fantastic marriage. I mean, your wedding day was astonishing.
It is, so yeah. I mean,
you had the best man ever, obviously, you collected that.
with the worst jokes, the worst best man jokes. But so yeah, married this year. Hopefully Laura's not watching. Divorce next year. Yeah, it should all be good. So as we come out of lockdown, what do you reckon the benefits are? What have we learned?
Well, there's definitely some upsides coming out of lockdown again, as we probably learned from last time. I got a haircut tomorrow morning at 7:30.
It's all about
Steve,
you.
Some of us could grow some hair to go and have a haircut. What about you? What are you looking
actually,
forward to?
technically, you shouldn't be taking the mickey out of me, because as we'll talk about later on, there's a certain month where you grow moustaches.
Mm-hmm.
Mine grew pretty well. I'm pretty sure yours did, but there's a certain somebody behind the camera who, well, let's just say
he tried really, really hard, but he is still a baby, and
yeah,
we should have just actually got a little marker pen and helped him out.
Bless him. So
he'll try harder next year.
Yeah, hopefully next year. So tell us about this year. What would be your top 10 things that we achieved last year? And I know what I put number one, and I think is start of the year. I think is the relationship with Sage.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people were very worried about us selling our products on the Sage marketplace.
There was a sweepstake how long it would last before we fell out.
Disappointing, but interesting how the partners looked at it. I think, you know, we're very easygoing, but we've worked hard at that relationship as well. And I think testament to Sage, the ISV team have been fantastic, because that was kind of being created at the same time as the marketplace. And I think everyone's worked really well.
Yeah, and I think that as well. I mean, sales.
Well, we're tracking. Last year was a record year until March, when it all went a bit pear-shaped in the last month. And this year, adjusting back from subscription to perpetual and kind of getting the equivalents, we are tracking just ahead of last year. I mean, how is that? I don't know. It's astonishing.
And we've, number 3, I reckon, we've broken down the north-south divide as a company.
We have. Yeah, the Northern office. So Jules and manufacturing team now have an office up in Newcastle. We're up to 52 people in the organisation across the offices. And we're also looking to buy another building. So we're back in the trend again.
Wow.
And
where's the other building? Is it far?
It's just out there, just across the way. Another building the same size as this, another 6,000 square feet that we should have in the next 3 months. So we've got plenty of room to expand into, which I think people will go back to their offices once this is over and really enjoy the interaction of office work again. I
think obviously we're all gutted that we couldn't do Portugal or anything this year, but I think a notable success as well has got to have been the mega virtual event.
Yeah, we even did a bit of prep for that, didn't we?
Well, you did. But how many people did we have attend?
We started off with 220 people on a Teams meeting. Which is pretty incredible. So thank you all for attending. The feedback we had, it was a great day. We still had 190 at the end of the day.
It was different because normally you've got a room. There's that atmosphere. You know, it is like an extended family where people know and come together. And it was different.
It was different, but we could not have done what we did remotely in real life. We couldn't have run all of those separate rooms. Just logistically, there's not enough rooms. You know, we had 4 consultant tracks, a support track, so many things going on in every single session, plus obviously our best track.
But of course.
In the sales and marketing track. You know, all of those things, and every single one of them was recorded. Every single one of them is up on the website still, I think, to be reviewed by anyone who wants to go back and if they missed the conference.
We obviously showed off some new stuff, with, you know, what we've done with barcoding. I think there was the pallets.
My little palette creations that we had with loading those and demonstrating all the new stuff with them, which is fantastic.
The weigh scales as well, that was...
The weigh scales for catch weight, and then we obviously moved on with a little shopping trolley and we demonstrated our EPOS. So yeah, aiming that at trade council I think is the right place. And it looks like we've already got our first sale.
No way.
Yeah, it's your typical trade counter, big warehouse behind, and they loved it. Yeah. They actually didn't need us to do much more than it does in a demonstration.
Yeah, so, I have to say it's very, very few times I think in my career have I been shown a piece of sort of new software, just software. But what Tom and the team have done with the EPOS was just jaw-dropping. Absolutely clever stuff. But the one that I've been most excited about is Task and... No, it's not Task and Contact Manager anymore.
That went in the bin, didn't it?
Yes.
Good old Task and Contact Manager, only because I got bored of telling people what it did. So then we gave birth to Sicon CRM. And
I think it's fair to say it's still in its infancy and growing, but it's just been received so well.
Yeah. When you think AgriLine, just gone live, 131,000 customers that it's created into the CRM, including suppliers and bits on top of that. 160,000 contacts.
But when you load it, I'm not exaggerating when I say that is how quick it loads.
Performance is still...
Nathan's done an amazing job.
Amazing job. Yeah. And then obviously with the app to go with that, and the web interface is just...
Like Liam, when did Liam join us? Was that this year?
Yeah, a couple of months. I think it was only a couple of months ago.
But again, just picked up using the new Sage technology, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the React and Carbon, all the theming on that. But yeah, he had some CRM experience before, so he's brought some good ideas to the party. You know, auto dialing off the screen, popping up activity messages so people fill in what they're doing, all that kind of stuff, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, so our products have just gone strength to strength. Away from that, now we did allude to poor Tom at the back there. We're still at 52 people, not you. No, he's still here. So obviously we did November, that's what we were talking about, and I think there were 6 of us, was it? Yeah,
Six in the Sicon team. Yeah, we raised £1,165.
£1,165, but it wasn't just growing the moustache, was it? So
there was walking,
4 of us, wasn't it?
walking, running.
60 kilometres in. Well, I did 60 kilometres and like a centimetre. I think the others did. Well, you did over 100 kilometres, didn't you? So, but I got there, got past the line at the end. Always happy it means I walk the dog now. But it's not just there, is it? Sage have got involved as well.
Because we did that with the Sage Foundation, we hadn't realised, but they've actually matched that amount and contributed that to November as well. So thank you, Sage Foundation guys. But for all of you that contributed, obviously they've doubled that up. So it was really well worth it.
Really do appreciate it. And it's nice. It's nice to have done something like that, and hopefully we raised a smile, but we raised for a great cause.
The moustaches did look ridiculous.
Yeah, Laura did say to me, I'm not going near her whilst I had it, but I thought about keeping it for December, January, February, March. And then finally, before we move on, something that's close to my chest, cars. There's a bit of a change, isn't there?
Well, yeah. I'm quite environmentally aware, friendly, all those sorts of things. And really, people are looking at hybrids, looking at tax saving. Actually, tax saving isn't in that. The tax saving is in full electric. So there's all that range anxiety and that sort of stuff, but I just made the decision, tough. It's all electric.
We're not going anywhere at the moment.
No, at the moment, no. But get over the range anxiety. It's manageable, and we all need to adopt electric cars. Solar electric is definitely the way forward. And
I'm uber excited because next year, this leads us nicely on to next year, my car goes back. So, hopefully...
I've seen an excellent review on the new Nissan Leaf. I think you look fantastic in one of those.
No, Porsche. Right, so plans for next year then, Rich. So, I can't believe it's Christmas Eve already. We haven't even had New Year, but we've obviously got to start thinking about next year. What's on your mind? What are you thinking?
There's a huge number of things. Where would you start?
Well, knowing you, probably booking holidays.
There might be some in the diary. Let's hope some of those actually happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Product-wise, we mentioned EPOS, but I think the big one is CRM. I think that's just going to build.
I think we're into weekly rollouts now. That is just going to fly. And we spent a lot of time trying to make sure that is business partner friendly, customer friendly. We've got resource to react to, request for change. I think it's just going to absolutely take off. But
I think it's at the detriment what we've done with the tech around barcoding, with CRM now using the new themes, the apps, and the amazing stuff that we're doing there. It's actually been potentially to a slight detriment to our biggest selling product. The most from a revenue perspective, the one that brings the most revenue in is WAP.
Yeah, and interestingly, we were looking at doing a revamp on WAP probably a couple of years ago, and it's probably good timing to have left it until now. So we're moving the technology over to use our web API for communicating with Sage to make it much more efficient. But then retheming that and redesigning that, refactoring it as we would call, to use the new theme for Carbon. And with the React technology behind it. So it's going to make it super responsive, as good as CRM.
Yeah, perfect. And then apps have obviously grown. We've got the CRM app, we've got WAP app, we've got barcoding app, we've got service app, shop floor data capture app. Yeah. Are we going to be app-tastic next year, or are we going to give it a bit of a break?
There's going to be one more, just for a dedicated little timesheet app. So you don't need to worry about WAP and all the complications. If you just need to book time, 2 projects, there'll be a nice little simple app for booking time. I think it's just a simple little thing that people can use.
And can you look in the camera now and promise, look at me first and then look at the camera and promise everybody that's the only new product next year? Can you control yourself? That's never going to be a guarantee.
No, I think we have a very good range of products, and CRM has brought a lot of things together. Things like tasks that we're going to share across all the Sicon products. It brings them all together, really trying to create one place to work. So I think really now it's going to be still filling out the products that we have. The dashboards I don't think we've done enough with, so I think we're going to grow that dashboard stuff quite a lot over the next year. There'll also be a lot of those inside CRM, but also the big display board type scenarios as well.
I think that's what people want is, the fact we hold so much in there now. It's so easy to get the data in. If we can work, I know I know there's lots of dashboard options out there, but if we can deliver some out of the box, it just makes it easier to sell.
Absolutely.
As well.
I've seen some of the stuff the guys are working on. It is fantastic. So that's great. And then we've obviously got a big piece of work in manufacturing to really look at production lines and how we can put various pieces of equipment and resources and manage multiple production lines within a manufacturing environment. I think that's going to be really exciting.
I think the other bit as well is in terms of probably one of the questions will be with manufacturing moving to Sage, and originally we said, you know, the accreditation from this point. We've pulled that back a little bit, haven't we, because of the COVID and the disruption there. But also, I think it's mindful that there's more collateral and that we need to get in place to help that transition.
Yeah, I think the training courses to cover everything. I think we'll put the exams in place and we'll see how well that training has come across. I think that accreditation for partners is good. It means that their people are understanding what our products are. If they get through the exam, they're understanding the product and the questions we're putting there. So I think it makes sense to press ahead and get that done, and we'll try and get that rolling for about the end of January.
And I think just on that as well is what I would say, anybody watching it, if you're not registered on the Sicon partner portal, or you are registered on there but you're not receiving our regular marketing notifications, just get back on there and sign up for that, because you'll be receiving all those updates as they go through. Final thing, Rich, I just want to touch on, and I thought it was amazingly well received. You weren't sure, I know, when you were putting the slides together as to what the feedback would be from the channel. But actually, it's what's your new pet project on the side, isn't it?
It's my Fridays, isn't it?
Yeah.
People say it's a day off. So trying to build a charity, Sicon Foundation. Yeah, that's. You'd think planting a bunch of trees would be fairly easy. So thank you all everybody for voting. So at the end of the conference, obviously I was bleating on about the environment and plastic and solar and needing to plant trees. So you all voted to plant trees rather than us giving you some gifts. So I'm working hard on that.
Just like to point out that means now I don't have any drinking bottles or anything. So those partners who brought out their own merchandise, just send it to Steve Gemma. Sorry, Rich.
Carrying on. So yeah, we've been busy trying to set up the foundation. I just have not had a lot of time, so we've actually recruited a full-time person now who is out talking to parish councils, local councils, borough councils, private landowners and everybody about planting more trees.
Now obviously we spoke about that, was it October or November the event? I think it was October, wasn't it? So at the time you'd started it, was setting it up. What's the latest? Have we got any land?
The latest is, yeah, we've got one little tiny project. They wanted £48 to plant some trees in their little parish council area, so we funded that. That was very generous. Yeah, they didn't want anything else, so that's fine. Yeah, moving on, the big project we're working on is a 2.5 hectare piece of land. It had a whole bunch of dead and rotting trees on it, and it's been cleared. And now we're just planning out, it goes along a river, so we've got to think about what's native and what will sit in that land quite happily by the river. It floods occasionally.
Fancy a golf course? No, okay, just trees. Actually, it doesn't just have to be trees though, does it?
Trees, shrubs, undergrowth. So it's more about creating a wilderness than it is creating a park. Yeah, I think that's what we're really trying to encourage people to do. So we're talking to the farmers about going, right, you've got some woodland or you've got a hedgerow, can we just make that another 10 metres wider and just leave it alone? You know, so some of the woodlands will be for schools to come and learn and do some education with, but a lot of it is about just putting that wilderness back. And we're trying to map a little bit of Suffolk at the moment to see if we can actually create a joined up piece of wilderness. And
I believe looking to discuss with Woodland Trust as well, is it, to get them involved?
Yeah. I mean, Woodland Trust is a fantastic organisation, and there's a few hoops to jump through, but they've actually got a load of trees to give away, and even buying the trees is very cheap.
So we'll be obviously presenting more once all of the ducks are in a row, for want of another phrase. Presuming that e-shots will be sending out sort of how partners can get involved. Because again, I think there was an appetite to support where we need to. So
yeah, definitely. Now there'll be an e-shot coming out with an update, some photos, let people know what we're doing. Hopefully that planting will be happening in January. We'll probably let everybody know in case anybody wants to come down. Obviously social distancing still at that point, and get involved.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting, challenging, exciting year. I think we pressed ahead with all the new things that we could possibly do. There's been some great deals. It's been good fun working with you guys. I guess we'll stop talking dribble. wrap it up.
And just
so
say
any last messages for anybody?
no, just thank you. Genuinely, I was going to try and come up with something funny, but yeah, just want to say thank you. As always, we couldn't do it without yourselves. I know, obviously, what we're developing is helping you sell 200 as well and keep your customers happy. But without the feedback, without the support when things go wrong as well as they go right, we neither of us would be here. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and generally, it's fun working with you guys. So really, all we have to say is have a great Christmas break. I hope you have some time with your families, and we're allowed to do that. So
thank you, Mr. Youngman. We can do a distance high five. So
2 meters.
Yeah, 2 meters, and roll on 2021. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bring on next year. Have a great break, great Christmas, great New Year, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.